NRA receives about $50 million in donations each year, and it has a powerful lobbying arm in Washington. What are your thoughts about the focus of the LGBT community being turned into one of the country's biggest problems, which is gun reform?
There's been a lot of, I can say that as a leader in the LGBTQ community, there have been a lot of discussions among the leadership about how do we approach this and where can we fill it. There are very good organizations out there right now, the Brady Group, and then also Every Town. And so what we're looking at as GLAAD is how can we help elevate them and help them with the work that they're doing. But I have to say that I've been at some community meetings, and there are absolutely grassroots organizations that are very specifically LGBTQ that are popping up. We'll see them in the Pride Parade this weekend, and they're going to be making really big statements around this. So I think that, you know, it's one of those things where what's most important to the LGBTQ community is that we are the target, we are the most targeted with violence community out of all of them. And so this directly affects us every day. This massive tragic event that happened last week is a stream as part of all of the events that happen to the community over and over again on a daily basis. So it is an issue for our community, and it is something that many leaders are taking very seriously and are looking at.
And similar look at, just as there is the great lists of all the politicians out there who've chosen a side, similarly, there are some phenomenal sign-on letters that many of the top and brand new LGBT groups out there and allied groups have signed on to say we're putting our resources, our communications tools, our organizing power to fight this as we can through our constituencies and through our communities in the lane that we know how. But along with that, there's also, I think, a renewed sense of ownership and responsibility over our news cycle. We have watched too many of these tragedies. I think it's been, the president said this was his 15th time at the podium to give one of these remarks about a mass shooting. And they're with us for a week, and then they fall off the news cycle, and we move on to the next tragedy or the next Kardashian or the next whatever. And we can't let that happen this time around. So look at those letters of all the LGBT groups and the allied organizations that are standing with us and keep on them. Don't let this fall off the news cycle. Don't let this become just another sad story and another sad statistic. We can keep this drumbeat going to fight this back.
And I think one of the great things about the queer community is that we get stuff done. So if we want to get gun control done, I think we can get it done. You know what I mean? Like I think gun control is a queer issue, and I think that we shouldn't be afraid to look at it that way, but that's me.